Blog Talk Radio.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Escape to the Finger Lakes. This is your host, Christina, and with me today I have Yvette Sturbank from the Corning Museum of Glass. Hi, Yvette.
Hi, Christina. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me again. And I know that we had you as a guest last year, and I'm sure that many of my listeners and people that are tuning into the show are familiar with the Corning Museum of Glass. Of course, it's one of the museums within Finger Lakes wine country, and certainly a large attraction in upstate New York in general. But I would love for you to kind of give just the backgrounder and some details about the museum for anyone who maybe is not familiar.
Oh, sure. Yep. The Corning Museum of Glass is the world's largest and most comprehensive glass museum. That's kind of a fancy way of saying we show everything and anything there is about glass. So we like to say that we talk about the art, the science, the history, the technology of glass, and you can see more than 45,000 objects that showcase about 35 centuries of glass-making artistry, so anything from ancient glass to contemporary sculpture in glass. And we have a hands-on area that's related to technological innovations in glass, so things like fiber optics and even just the windows that are, in your home and your car and kind of things that you take for granted. And then, of course, one of the most popular things is that you can see live glass blowing here. And we offer live glass blowing shows and the opportunity for an additional fee to make your own glass.
It's wonderful. And it really is something that, is absolutely the most intriguing stuff, watching that stuff be made. And I've been there many, many times, as you know, but every time I go, I get totally enthralled and learn more.
Something new every time.
Exactly. It's amazing. They're really talented people that you have working there, the gaffers. So now you have some special exhibitions this year, and it's from what I understand, a very exciting anniversary in 2012 for the glass world.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So 50 years ago this year, there were 2 glass-making workshops held in Toledo, Ohio, and 2 gentlemen, one of them a Corning native named Harvey Littleton, showed the world showed the artists in the U.S. how to make glass in their own studios. So before that, you really had to work in a factory to make glass, but they introduced technology that would help glassmakers work on their own. And so what really happened was they kicked off an artistic movement that was that's called the American Studio Glass Movement, and it's an artistic movement where you find artists making works in glass that express an artistic theme or idea. So this year we, along with many in the country, celebrate that, and our exhibitions are focused on some of the original founders of that movement. So we have 3 exhibitions focused on 3 of the artists who were founders of that movement, so Harvey Littleton, Dominic Labino, and Irwin Eisch. And then our summer exhibition actually looks at kind of the, I guess you'd say it's really celebrating the sort of exploration of the American Studio Glass movement and looking at what's, I think, the new wave in glass, and that is design in glass. So it looks at a project that we've been working on for several years called Glass Lab, and showcases some of our work in showing designers and working with designers to use glass as a material.
It's great, and it sounds like it's going to be a really good look back at how things have kind of transformed and grown in those last 50 years. I'm sure that there's quite an evolution, so that's very exciting. I'm excited to take a look at that. Now, you have the hot glass shows, which people can go and see the hot glass being worked with and the glass blowing, and that's super intriguing and wonderful and a must-do if you're visiting the museum. But you also have the Innovation Center, which is very hands-on and really gives you kind of a more approachable look to glass. I think that many people get a little hesitant. A glass museum, I'm going to have to walk with my hands right to my side and kind of shimmy through. But I think the Innovation Center is so cool, and just I could spend so much time in there, and I know that kids of all ages love it.
Yeah, really, there is something for everyone in there, and you don't have to be a scientist to understand it. I think it's very, very accessible. But if you are a scientist, there's also something there for you as well. So, and then we do have live demos in there, which we've added in the last couple of years. So there's a demo that looks at how does optical fiber work. Optical fiber was actually developed here in Corning, so it's kind of a nice connection. And then there's also kind of my favorite, the glass breaking demonstration. So it's still in place in the museum where we really encourage you to actually think about breaking glass.
There you go. That's perfect. Yeah. And also the museum has a make your own glass program where you can actually go and choose to make your own glass souvenir to take home, which I think is so neat. And it really gets you a little bit more hands-on. You can, and people of all artist levels and all, you don't have to be a pro to do this by any means. In fact, I think children as young as 3 and 4 years old can do some of the projects. So
that's right. We do. We do we do offer projects for kids of all ages and adults, and some of the projects we're featuring this year or this winter in particular are a make your own glass snowman. So that's a glass blowing project, and so that's open to all ages, and you can make a cute little snowman ornament for yourself, and that's available through February 29th. And then in the spirit of upcoming Valentine's Day, we also are offering a make-your-own-glass heart-shaped paperweight, which is for ages 14 and up, and a make-your-own-glass heart-shaped bead, which is for ages 10 and up. And both of those are available through February 14th. So really fun projects.
That is fun, and it's something, just a little bit more unique. And I know, of course, you have the ornaments that you can make and the glass flowers, which are my favorite, and, of course, just the glass beads and everything. So this just is another kind of special time of year project that you can do, and just another reason to come back. If maybe you were back in the fall and you got to make your own glass pumpkin, now you can come back and make your own snowman or heart paperweight or bead. So very, very cool.
That's right. And a lot of people don't also realize that we offer one-day workshops and weekend workshops. So if you've come and you've made your own glass and you want to try something just a little bit more in depth, it's really affordable. It's It's $115 for a one-day workshop. So you spend the whole day being taught how to really do more hands-on with the glass making, so glass blowing or bead making. And then if you're, really intrigued, you could spend a weekend doing that. And again, those classes are for all levels. So if you already got some experience, you'll probably find a class that's available to you as well.
That's great. And for those of our listeners who may be living in the region or perhaps are planning a visit to the region coming up next week, I know that you have a really exciting event coming up that you do during the winter months, I'll say, and spring, 2300 degrees, and I went to the 2300 degrees last month, and it was a blast, and I've heard the January one is like the one you can't miss. So if you want to talk to us a little bit about this event. Sure.
January's 2300 degrees is called Fire and Wine, and actually we will have, I think it's over 20 wineries from the Finger Lakes region offering tastings. So if you're into wine, this is the event for you. And then every 2300 degrees, and 2300 degrees takes place the third Thursday of every month from November through March, and then again in May to kick off our Town's Glass Fest event. Everything involves live glass making and live music. So this month you'll see the Weber Brothers, and then the glass artist is actually quite interesting. She's very different in that she actually takes hot glass and uses it to draw on paper. And she calls these pyrographies. They're really, really beautiful. So it'll be a different kind of glass-making performance, if you will, this month, and that's Thursday, January 19th from 5:30 to 7:30.
That's wonderful. And admission is free, which
admission
is so
free.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
My favorite word. And not to sound like a cheapskate, but it is. Who doesn't love free? So that's great. And excuse me, you can also purchase tickets for food, or you have other beverages, and it's just it's such a great event. And I had a guest in town last month when we went to 2300 Degrees, and the first question they asked was, why is it called 2300 degrees? So I'm hoping I answered this correctly, but from what I understand, it's the degrees at which glass melts. Is that right?
That's right. Yes, that's absolutely right. Fahrenheit, yes.
There you go. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So, well, great.
Yeah.
It sounds like we have so much to look forward to this year, and of course, any time is a great time to visit. Now, for families maybe looking to come down, I know we have winter breaks coming up. Of course, this weekend is Martin Luther King Day. Monday is off for many students. Mm-hmm. So how much time do you typically recommend that they come and that they spend at the museum?
You know, the average visit is 3 to 4 hours, and you know, you can make that shorter or longer depending on what you really would like to do. But that gives you time to really take your time, see a glass blowing demonstration, go through the galleries. If you're with your family, I know I have little kids. Sometimes things take longer, but we have activity sheets that kids can pick up at the entrance to the gallery that helps sort of guide them through the galleries and gives them something to focus on, which parents I think appreciate. And then if you're going to make your own glass, of course, you know, that adds to the day. And we do have an eatery here that is open during the winter, and of course we have our free shuttle bus, so that if you park in our parking lot, it can bring you to the museum, but then you can also jump on that and bring you right downtown to our Gaffer district, and as you know, there are many dining and shopping options down there. So so I would plan, you know, half a day at least with your family, and to really get the full experience.
That's great. And another great option is to, you know, maybe spend the morning or the afternoon, vice versa, at the Rockwell Museum of Western Art, which is a sister museum to the Corning Museum of Glass, and it offers, again, some great kids' activities, and it's right in downtown Corning. So, you know, a really cool day with the family, and very affordable, too, when you consider that kids and teens, 19 years of age and under, receive free admission at both the Corning Museum of Glass and the Rockwell Museum of Western Art. So you can't go wrong.
That's
free.
Yeah, and and then we, for adults, we offer a combination ticket, so you can visit both museums and save a little money by buying that combination ticket as well.
That's great. So for more information on the Corning Museum of Glass, you can visit cmog.org. And you have an 800 number, right?
We do have an 800 number, and that 800 number is on our website. And
sorry.
I'm blanking on it at the moment. That's okay.
No, it's okay.
Our 800 number is... It's an important number, so I want to make sure I give it to you. It's 800-732-6845.
Perfect. And so for information on, I'm sure on the website there is information on the exhibits, on the classes, on the Make Your Own Glass sessions. You can set up an appointment to make your own glass session. For instance, on a holiday or a weekend this time of year, you really want to make an appointment in advance.
Yeah, that's right. We do recommend you book online, absolutely.
Yeah, it just helps kind of plan your day anyway. And again, you have the mobile app to download when you're at the museum to kind of help guide you through. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's available for the Android and iTunes. So just you search in the store and you'll find that.
Perfect. So, again, you can visit CMOG or cmog.org for information on the Corning Museum of Glass and visiting in the coming year. I'm sure that lots of families are looking forward to their annual trip or maybe venturing there for the first time. So with that, Yvette, thank you so much for joining me today.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Everyone have a wonderful week. Thank you again for tuning in, and we will be back next week with more from Lots to Do in Finger Lakes Wine Country.